Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be discussing how to care for one of the most popular houseplants, Monstera Deliciosa. So Monstera plants are very popular for basically one thing, and it's their unique leaf festation. Fenestration is where the leaves, over time as the plant grows up and matures, it's where the leaves, they have splits, kind of like slits in the leaves, and eventually as the leaf grows and grows, the slits become more and more pronounced. And that's pretty much why the Monstera Deliciosa is such a popular houseplant, because of their unique leaf fenestration. So the Monstera, like I've mentioned, is a pretty popular and therefore expensive houseplant. And you'd think that because of that, they'd have very complex care to keep the plant alive. But that's just not the case. Their care is actually really simple. So in this care guide, I'll be going over 4 main topics: watering, sunlight, humidity, and variegation. The variegation part isn't really part of the guide. It's just something that I thought I'd add to make the video more interesting for you guys. So first things first, watering. This is pretty much just the most complex part of the care, and it's not even that complex. So Monsteras, even though they're tropical plants, they like their soil to dry out in between watering. So I actually got this a couple weeks ago, and the soil is pretty, I guess, the ideal substrate for a tropical plant. It holds on to moisture for a long time, so it's been about 2 to 3 weeks and I haven't watered it yet. And I've stuck my finger into this 1 to 2 inches of soil, and my finger has come back clean, which means that the soil is dried out, and which means that the plant is ready for water again. So I will probably be doing that after this video. The biggest problem with the Monsteras is the probability of overwatering. I'm not sure if the plant will tell you if it's thirsty or not by drooping leaves, since I've only had it for a couple weeks and I don't know the behavior of the plant yet. If the plant has drooping leaves, then you'll need to make sure that the soil is dry, or if it's wet. If it's wet, then you have a problem because your plant's leaves are drooping while the soil is wet. And leaf drooping is a sign of overwatering, and so is browning and dying of the lower leaves, because the plant's trying to absorb the excess water and putting it into its lower leaves, and then the leaves die and help save the plant. But that doesn't really work since they're, in a pot that holds on to water fairly easily. So pretty much if your plant has root rot, you're going to want to first take off the pot and remove all the dead roots, and then afterwards you're going to want to put it back into the pot with dry soil, and then you're just going to wait a couple weeks, maybe mist it if you need to, and just until the plant's recovered. Monsteras are pretty hardy plants and should recover fairly easily. I haven't really experienced overwatering a plant since I'm pretty hands-off, and my biggest problem with plant keeping is underwatering, unless I get really bored, like over Christmas break or something like that. The next hurdle for their care is sunlight. So pretty much these plants aren't that picky. They don't like bright, direct sunlight because they are tropical plants, and they are technically vining slash shrubbery type plants, which means that they're in shade for the majority of the time, and they're right under trees, so they don't get that much direct sunlight. Although over time they can be acclimated to harsher conditions, enjoy bright to low indirect lighting. The brighter the lighting is generally the better, so long as it's not direct. I personally keep all my plants under a grow light, and because I don't have much natural sunlight, and Monstera seems to really like it. I have a bunch of new growth, at least about 6 different leaves are brand new, 6, about maybe 7. And you can tell the new leaves by their coloration. This right here, the biggest leaf, is brand new. It unfurled while I went over shipping. And this is an older leaf. You can clearly see the coloration difference between the two. This one's younger and this one's older. That's generally how it goes for most plants as the leaves mature. They'll darken up in color significantly as the leaf gets older. Monsteras, like I said, are pretty hardy. They don't their care is pretty simple. You can give them humidity if you want to, since they are tropical plants, and they will certainly flourish under high humidity and grow super quickly, but then again, that isn't necessary. And if you don't live in a humid place, then don't worry about it, and the plant will probably be fine, unless you have like severely dry air, but it'll probably be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much Monstera care. It's pretty simple. And now I'll be talking about variegation. So with variegation in Monsteras, it's a 1 in 100,000 chance that your regular Monstera, like the one I have, will produce a variegated leaf, and there's no guarantee that the variegation will stick in future leaves or if it will just go away. It probably will go away since variegation is a random mutation. And as far as I'm aware, there is no way to trigger it, so you're just stuck in with a normal plant until random chance, and even then it's not for certain. So because of the rarity of Monstera variegation, the plants that are variegated are extremely expensive. The highest cost that someone paid for a Monstera was about $5,000. So you can better understand what I mean about how rare and expensive they are. And I can see why that they're so expensive. They really are beautiful plants. I'll put a picture up on screen just to demonstrate. There's multiple different varieties of Monstera variegated plants. One of them is called a thigh constellation. There are others, I just can't remember their names for the life of me. But I do recommend doing some research on the plants because they really are really cool. Variegation is pretty much the lack of pigment in plant cells. The pigment, which gives them their green color, helps them photosynthesize, and without it, leaves that have variegation, that have pure white variegation, are unable to photosynthesize. So if you have a plant with too many pure white leaves, then you might run into some issues, because if the plant can't photosynthesize, then it will probably die. And that goes with any plant. If you were to say propagate a succulent and the pup of the leaf were to be completely white, then as soon as the plant used up the energy source of the mother leaf, then it'll probably shrivel up and die. Because of their lack of pigmentation, these plants generally require a bit more sunlight than your average Monstera. They are more I would still keep them out of direct sunlighting though, since their leaves can burn if the plant isn't acclimated to sunlight, direct sunlight. Anyways, that's pretty much how you care for Monstera Deliciosa. If you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!